didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect that. I think I've always thought that Wichita is a dark horse to win the conference. I spoke before to the media and said that it's my belief that they're the hottest team in the league. They've won 7 or 8 in a row. Last time they lost was to us at their place where we barely got by. And nobody does more with the individual parts of his team than Chris Lamb. And he tried everything today. He really did try to move people around, switch rotations, interchange, flip-flop. I mean, he did everything a good coach does to try to give his team a chance. I can't explain what happened on our side, other than this weekend we were a Sweet 16 level team this weekend in terms of production. Low error, high point. Our serving point scoring facet of the game was almost as good as our side out part of the game. Usually if you can side out at 65 and point score at about 45, you're in good shape. They were both pretty close to 70 at times. So, sometimes you just play a good match, and sometimes you don't. And I keep saying we're building up, we're getting better each week. We have to continue to do this. First of all, for our goals within the conference, and then hopefully we find a way into the NCAA tournament, whether it's through a championship or an at-large, and then we make a run. I like our team's chances against a lot of teams, but that's down the road. Right now we just got to digest this, watch the film, fix the little things that are still out there. You can see there's little things that are forcing us to give up 2-3 points in a row. We'll fix that. But I felt like McKenna was automatic today. If she's not the player of the week again, I don't know who should be. But it's not even that easy because Anne Marie goes out and hits for big numbers this weekend. Claudia goes out and hits for big numbers. Narissa hits for big numbers. Tolly hit for big numbers. And we did it against one of the best defensive teams in the league. I just can't explain it. Our serve was really unconscious in what we were doing with our service game. They're big, they're physical, they hit hard, but we never gave them a chance to get a good set to do it because of our serving. He put his team in the position to try to do well, and something just happened on our side where we said, it doesn't matter, we're going to get you out of system and you're not going to do what you want. I thought that, I've been preaching that I don't want the team to go wait for the opponents to lose. I want to go out and win. And I thought this weekend, both matches against the 2nd and 4th place teams, I think, we went out and we won both matches convincingly. So that is, as a coach, as a coaching staff, that's something we're really proud of.
And Coach, I think it's fair to say you guys have been dominating your conference. You guys are now 11-1. What do you think is the primary reason for that?
Yeah, I don't know that we've been dominating our conference. I know what the record says, but there's 3 or 4 in there that could have just as easily flipped the other way, just a couple key points here and there. So I think in our mind, we stay humble that we are a middle of the pack, trying to climb to the top type team. And the reason for where we are is because, one, our serving has really given opponents problems, especially prolific offenses, has given them problems. And then our own offense continues just to get better and better and better. I think Jenny's doing a great job with Amber setting, and the two of them work well together. It's like a quarterback and a quarterback coach. And Amber's doing a phenomenal job of running the offense. And players are doing their job by putting the ball away when they're being put in such a great position. Wichita, they had their scheme blocking going, and we were just able to pass well enough that we could read it early. And when we could read it, we just went the opposite way. It's like, a quarterback looking at somebody in man or zone and knowing exactly what the defense is going to look like after that. Amber was doing a great job of reading everything because the pass was good. And then from there, she just waits to see how they move and then sets the opposite way. So really, we got ourselves in a lot of one-on-ones, and that's something that we've been doing a lot over this stretch since we lost to Houston.
And McKenna actually had 3 straight kills to start off the game. So the question is, what exactly do the teams have to do to stop her?
I can't tell you that. I mean, I know. Our team knows, because a lot of times in practice, she does get shut down and stopped. And then there's a lot of times where she just goes off. So, she's a tough player to line up against. And they flip their rotation. Normally they start in rotation 5. They started in 1, and it was because they didn't want McKenna on their setter. And then in the 3rd game, they went to rotation 5. But at that point, I feel like we were in pretty good rhythm. Give Tolly credit, because when Tolly goes out there and she scores and she's at a high percentage and she's even blocking for points, that kind of completes the last jewel of the offense. When we can have 4 or 5 consistent hitters, hitting in that 300 plus range, we're gonna be tough to beat.
And there was a play at the end of the first set. It was a hustle play from Grimes. I think she flung herself for the ball. What does that say about her as a player, and what does that say about the hustle?
I tell you, if you could ever see her hips and what they look like, they're absolutely, gross. She does that in practice too. Thank goodness we practice on Terraflex and not wood. She absolutely has no regard for her body when it comes to getting the ball. I've seen her dive through those foam things into chairs, and that's a hope that she can save the ball. But she's such good control with her hands and getting balls back to the middle of the court. The team respects her for it. There's a lot of respect for how she plays the game, which is hard, and I think it inspires her teammates to play hard and do extra as well.
Good. And this is your second sweep of the weekend. So how are the Shockers different from Tulsa that you played on Friday?
Well, they're just 2 different teams. Tulsa, I've always said Tulsa is the best defensive team. The statistics back that up. Yet we were able to score against them. Wichita State is one of the top defensive, probably number 2 teams in the country, but they're, I want to say they're number 2 or 3 in offense as well. So they're a team that if you don't at least hit your averages, you're going to get beat, because they have that ability to do it. Now, how did we hold a team that normally hits 240, 250 down to 087? The block was good. I think Wichita just brings a little bit more firepower, but Tulsa is gritty. Wichita State, down up there, when we played there, it was a grind. It was just 2 teams digging rocket shots. And because we had so many people on today, they just didn't know how to line up and who to dig against, because we run so fast. So they didn't have time to set up. They probably felt like they were out of place a lot, but that was by design.
And your offense was looking really fluid out there, Coach, but it was actually the defense that actually started to notice a lot during those later sets. Dylan in particular, I think I lost track of how many times she was at the blocks that she had.
Yeah,
what is
she
it
had
about
6.
6, yeah. So what is it about her that allows her to have that kind of control?
She's getting better and better every week. Transferring in, she kind of was on a high, and then she took a dip a little bit. And then she had to work her way back to the starting side again, and she did. And once she got back on the starting side, it was just, she slowly took off. She'll have a match, a pedestrian level match every once in a while, but she's, she put up another player of the week type week. Just when it comes to those awards, she's fighting not only the rest of the conference, but her own team for it. But I love where we are. I love where we are right now. I love that we're not completely there yet. We still have 4 weeks to grow, and we'll get there. We'll enjoy the ride getting there.
And in matches like this, Coach, where you guys are pretty firm control, what are you telling your players during the timeouts?
I don't talk during timeouts. I have a defensive coordinator. I have an offensive coordinator. I think it's important that they don't hear too many voices. So I might point something out that I think they may do, or something that I've seen them do. But typically, you'll see me sitting back and just letting Jenny coach the offense, Brian coach the block, defense, and serve, depending on the timeout. in the situation. But it's really about strategy. Okay, this is what they're doing. This is how they're doing it. This is how we're going to try and stop it. And so really that's what's going on when the opponents call a timeout. When we call a timeout, Jenny's getting an offensive set up. You know, are we going to go with overload, misdirection, crossing patterns? You know, where's the weak block? How can we attack it or isolate it? So those are all things that we're trying to figure out in timeouts. But yeah, I really don't speak very much in timeouts other than like 1 or 2 words of quick encouragement. Let's go, way to go. I let my coaches coach because they're awesome at it.
And last question, Coach. So just straight up, you guys look like you're having a great time out there. Everyone was smiling, laughing. What exactly goes into that? What is it about your game that allows you?
You know, I think it comes from a confidence of knowing that in practice they've been practicing well, that they're still on a climb to maturity, but they know they're still not there yet. And of course, it's fun to go out there and execute that well, that you put that many points on the board and that much of a separation. And it's not like you're doing it against the 200 rated team in the country. I mean, they're a top 50 team. So I think it's confidence. I think it's they enjoy playing for each other and they enjoy playing well.